I hope you guys are all having amazing, amazing days. I'm so grateful that I'm able to be in front of you guys today and share this amazing message and hopefully pump everyone up. We are Weez and Wilson, and we're here to spill all those beans. What we're going to be talking about a little bit today is just results, the good, the bad, and the ugly about them and our journeys along the way. But before we get too far into that, basically, if any of you guys see that value that we're dropping on you guys today and you think that you're like, I can be a hero, I should share this with somebody else, please go ahead and do that. Hit that share button, comment anything, any questions that you guys got for us, or maybe a story that you have that's related to the topic that we're talking about today. Let us know, and then slap that like button and just give us some love, because you know the best, most powerful emotion out there is gratitude, and if you're always grateful, you'll always have a big smile on your face like I always do. Anyways, so I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to let the beautiful lady talk now. So Weez, why don't you tell them about what we're going to be talking about today?
So today we're going to have a little bit of, so today, we thought we'd have a little bit of fun and we'd go over, you know, like Mark said, our results, the good, the bad, not so good, the results that make you want to cry in a bad way and in a good way. So of course, everybody's had those months where they're like on top of the world because they've just made like a crazy amount of money. But they've also had the months where they were like, oh my God, I haven't made much money at all. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that and where your mindset is when those things kind of happen to you. I think I'm going to ask Mark the first question. How about we start with what has been the best month since starting online marketing?
My best month ever was $42,000 in 1 month, and I know, a pretty fantastic month. And it was awesome. I just got in almost like a flow state. I don't know if anybody knows what a flow state is. If you do a lot of like, you know, meditation or mental building, it's basically a state of mind where it's just like, you're almost like tranquil at all times. Like you see things differently. And I felt like I was just in a different state that month, that like, no matter what was happening, everything was like, you know, falling into place correctly. And that's just kind of generally what you need to do to hit that next stage of basically your evolution of the game. And it was crazy, like, because I put out a goal that month that I wanted to have my best ever month. And I was just like, you know what, nothing's going to get out there. I'm going to put in whatever time that I possibly need to be able to hit these numbers. So, you know, it's all about getting those accolades for yourself sometimes. It's not all about like, you know, the money or whatever it is. And sometimes it's actually about like just saying that you've been able to accomplish something. And that was more what it was about for me. And in doing that, I was able to help a ton of people hit their own new heights in what they were doing, and it was great. And the big recipe for me was I went into the month with the mentality that, you know, nothing was going to get in my way. That was the number one thing I had to kind of get straightened out. Like, I made the decision, and Luisa talks about this all the time. You need to make that decision that this is what's going to happen. And if you make those decisions, you will get to it. Because if you made a decision, there's no not doing it, right? Like, that's your decision. I made that decision before the month started. And I started organizing myself on an everyday basis to make sure that I was going to hit that. So it was a step-by-step process, and I knew what I needed to do to get there. I knew how I was going to have to get there. So I had to spend a certain amount of money on advertisement. I had to talk to a certain amount of people. I wrote out the numbers. I wrote out my own algorithm because I'm a geek like that. Louisa makes fun of me all the time. Mark, do these numbers, because I'm a stats guy. I love that stuff. So I wrote it all out. I made the game plan for myself, and then I decided I was going to execute. And by the end of the month, I blew the numbers that I set out for myself out of the water. And it was the craziest experience, and I loved it. And I now can always say that I've done it. I'm going to do more than that, but I switched after that to, you know, trying to continue to do that, to trying to more build the business that we're currently doing, DFM, into larger and larger things. So I can't wait for this summer to hit 60,000. So by September, by my birthday, I will have a $60,000 month. It's going to happen. I am making that decision. Now, Luisa, what is your best ever month?
Not as big as yours, but my
I'm a
best
big
ever
guy though,
month.
right?
Huh?
I said I'm a
You
big
are
guy,
big
so
guy.
I mean it makes sense.
You are a big guy. So I am half your size, so that's why I made half as much. My biggest month was 23,700 for 1 month, and I thought that was absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe that I made that much money. Um, I like you, I decided that I am gonna have the biggest month ever, and it happened. You know, like you said, I got into this flow, and I was just like, and I think I used to talk to you, and I used to be like, I want to make like 4 sales today. And you'd be like, just watch, I'm gonna make 4 sales today, and it would be like boom, 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 4 sales until I managed to reach that goal. It's been really amazing though. I never really thought that I'd be able to make so much money in 1 month because, I mean, the average salary that people make is, at least where I'm from, is between 20,000 euros a month to, I would say, 32,000 a month, which is considered a pretty decent salary, right? Yearly salary, not monthly salary. So having hit that much of money in 1 month, I made pretty much more than somebody would make in a year, and I was just blown away, so blown away by it, and yeah, and it excites me, and I can't wait to do that. And like you, I've got a goal, and that goal is to hit 30,000 euro a month. So I hope that in the next few months that I will manage to do that. I know I will manage to do that.
Just letting you guys know, if you guys don't know how to do the math on that, a 30,000 euro a month is the same thing as a $42,000 Canadian month. It just sounds a lot bigger because her currency is so much better than mine. So Luisa, while you're doing that, and can you explain a little bit more about kind of that mindset? So when you wake up in the morning and you're waking up with the state of mind that, like, that sales has been made, that you made money while you slept, compared to like, oh, did I? Like, how much different is that just waking up or going to bed with that kind of different mind frame, right?
So when I used to go to bed, I used to say to you, it's like, I wonder how many sales I'm going to make tonight. And that was my mindset. I wonder how many sales I'm going to make tonight. Not I wonder if I will make sales tonight, but how many I'm going to make tonight. And I used to wake up in the morning, and after I used to do my meditation, I used to check my phone, like my accounts, and I used to be like, before I checked, it'd be like, I wonder how many I've made this morning. Like, I'm just really so excited to check to see how much money I was making. And you look at your phone and you're like, holy shit, it's crazy. Sometimes you don't even believe that this money is real because it's actually not physically in your hand yet. So it's in your bank account and stuff. You're still like, oh my god, is this real? And you look at your bank account and you're like, okay, things are going my way. But like we said, it's not always amazing. Sometimes you have months where you're struggling and you're like, I haven't made much money this month, and what's the reason behind that? So what has been your worst month? And I'm gonna put a clause in there. I don't want the month where you started online marketing, because that does not count, because people think, I didn't make money this month. It's like, hey, you just start to relax. Give yourself a few months till you get going. So eliminating that, what has been your worst month?
You know me too well, Luisa, because you know how my journey started. And my first month was like the worst first month I've ever heard anybody ever have in online business for their first month. So, I mean, you already knew that was probably going to be my answer. So I like that clause in there. I was not one of those, quick starter sprinters, let's just say. I was more the marathon runner. Anyways, just at the beginning of this year, I had a really, really down month, and I was struggling mentally. I had some personal stuff that was going on that I was really struggling with, some tragedy that happened in my life. And on top of that, Facebook changed their algorithms, and all the ads that had been really producing for me and making me a lot of money all crashed all at the same time, got disapproved. All my ads accounts got disapproved all at the same time. And I couldn't even get an answer of why. So not only I couldn't like fall back on my personal life being great and feeling all excellent about it, and then my business life like fell like apart all at the same time, and I was really really struggling mentally. And when anybody says that their success is going to happen, generally it's because of the mental side of things. If you do well, you do poor, all that type of stuff. And because I was struggling so much, I really was like shutting down. And it was great that I had that failure, and I'll tell you why after I go into like what my actual result was. I made just under $1,000 that month, and it sucked. Like that's not even close to what I normally make, and it was just because I had no way of producing an income, and I had no drive and determination to produce an income. So it's really hard to make money when you have no drive to make that. But it was really great because it really pushed me out of my comfort zone that I kind of got into. When you're producing and you're having a lot of success and really like things are coming easy to you, you take your foot off the gas pedal. At least that's a habit I've always had. I'm doing well, so take it a little bit easy, right? And when that happened for me, I had to really start digging deeper inside me. And at the same time, like I challenged myself with Luisa, and I was just like, we need to get better. Like I need to get better. Like you need to help me. You need to challenge me more. Like, and I started listening because I got out of like the routines that I was doing. Like I wasn't developing myself as much. I wasn't, working on myself as much. I wasn't being as creative. I wasn't pushing my limits. And at that moment in time, because I failed, I was able to get stronger. And that was, I would say, one of the best things that have happened to me this year is that failure. Because now we've made so many new different types of advertisement. I've started getting so much more creative with the content I'm putting out there. And I've started to push myself into so many different other areas. And my intellect just has expanded so much more because I know that I can't just, get stagnant. And I will never again. And I think it was almost one of the best things. But that was really really ugly month for me. Like I was like ready to like quit life kind of thing, but I was able to really overcome that and push myself. And like I'm not an emotional guy. Like Luisa and me talk about this stuff all the time. Like we're like dead inside almost because like we don't like cry or any of those type of things. And it was really tough time. And it was like crazy how like those tough times can build like great times afterwards. But Luisa, what was your ugly month?
Oh my God, was it ugly? My worst month, I made $120. Not even enough to pay my phone bill. It was rough, and like you, I had no idea why that happened. At the time, I had no idea why that happened. So I was going through all these like, why me? Why has my business not working? And this was like a few months after I made this huge month, right? I made all this money. It's like I don't understand what's going on. Why is this happening? And I questioned everything, and I blamed everyone. I was pointing so many fingers. I needed like another set of hands. And then I stopped, and I realized that the reason why my business was crashing wasn't because of anybody else or anything else. It was because of me, because I stopped my meditation, my routine. I stopped my self-growth. I stopped listening and reading books that have helped me grow in business and strengthen my mind. I stopped doing all these things that created like this massive like a compound effect, right? It's every little thing kind of on its own means nothing, but everything put together makes a huge difference in your life. So I made a conscious decision that I was going to change that straight away. And within the next day, my mindset shifted completely. And I started getting results again. I started listening to um, motivational, I wouldn't really call him motivational speaker, but I started changing my paradigm again. So my behavioral um, habits. I started reading again. I started listening to podcasts. I started, my meditations. And within 24 hours, I saw a massive shift, and I started getting results. And the next month, I had another really big month. Didn't exceed that previous month, but I had another really big month. And every time that my business isn't going the way I wanted to, I don't look outside of myself. I look within, because I know the problem is with me, not with anything else. Because me and you do the same business, Mark. So if you are having a $40,000 month and I'm having $120 month, the problem isn't the business, the problem isn't the system, the problem isn't the advertisements, the problem is me. The problem is that I have stopped believing and trusting myself, and I have started questioning everything that I'm doing. So I might say, yeah, I believe I can really do this. But if I'm questioning every single thing that I'm doing, if I'm questioning, I'm doing the work, but I'm not getting results. I'm doing this, but it's just not working. Contradicting your beliefs, you're saying I'm doing it, but it's not working. Where all you need to be doing is saying, I'm doing it and it is working. It will work. I will get the result. I am getting the results. And that's the difference between your success and your failures. As soon as you shift the way that you think, everything around you is going to change.
Yeah, it's crazy huge that's exactly what happens. And when you start doubting everything that you're doing, you're not going to do it to the best of your abilities. You won't hit those new heights, right? And a lot of times, I know, like, I do this, and I listen to a lot of different information every single day, and people will hit the biggest heights in their life, and they won't know what to do afterwards, because I was actually listening to this one podcast the other day, and Michael Phelps, and can't think of what his name is, the Sean something, red hair snowboarder.
Sean White.
Yes, they were both speaking on it, and I guess they both, after like the Olympics, like two of the most like acclimated Olympians of all time. Like, these guys are crazy. At both times, after all the Olympics that these guys were in, they said they got depressed afterwards because they had purpose. And they were driven to like hit these heights, hit these results, and then they're these champions, and no one's ever hit these like heights before. And then they go home, and now they're depressed. Is that not insane? These guys are like monsters. They're heroes to many people, but they're depressed. And it's because they lost their purpose. They were so driven for so many years to hit that, and then they hit it, and then they didn't know where to go from there. And that happens a lot of times. That's why a lot of times, like, your best months follow your worst months, or your worst months follow your best months, because you challenge yourself or lose that challenge. And I think one of the biggest things in business or in sports or with anything is always being able to hone in on your why, and what makes you feel good about doing what you're doing. Because it really doesn't matter, like, say if you love swimming like Michael Phelps, and you're good at it, you should just keep swimming afterwards. Who cares if it's for a gold medal or not? If you love your business, who cares if you just hit a 40, 50, 60, $100,000 month? Who cares? It doesn't matter. The money's great, but you're doing this because of a different purpose, right? So it's shifting that purpose from just like the money to like what that money does for you and how it makes you feel. And I think that is the biggest thing with results, is if you can shift that to a feeling and emotion, then you'll never not want that. And being completely obsessed with chasing that emotional state and that flow state all the time. And if you can get in that, boom, the results will just keep going, right? Every single month, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. Like I was obsessed. I was obsessed with success. I was obsessed with personal development. I was obsessed, and it works. It really works. Now I know not everybody has the time to spend 8-9 hours a day listening to motivation and self-help, and business strategies and all this stuff because people are busy, and some people that start this business do it part time. I think most people that start online marketing start it in their spare time. They all have a job to get to. I mean, I started like that. Mark, I know you started like that as well. I mean, I was working fucking crazy, crazy hours, sometimes 18 hours a day. I was sleeping for 2 hours, and I still have the time to do it. But it's the drive, right? You need the drive and you need the belief. Like my drive was, I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. I do not want to be um, serving people because I used to work on a super yacht. I was a chef on a super yacht. Great job, but very, very, very high stress and very much in demand. I was on 24/7. No matter the time, if I got a phone call that a guest wants a hamburger at 4 in the morning, I have to be up in my chef's uniform, making a freshly made hamburger with fries. If the guy takes a bite and then goes to bed, so be it. I might as well stay up because my work day starts in an hour. You know what I mean? So I didn't want that for myself for the rest of my life because I missed out on so much on life and I was miserable. I was tired. I was miserable. I didn't even know what country I was in sometimes. Sometimes the guests would go off the boat and be like, "Oh yeah, isn't this beautiful?" I'm like, "Yeah, Greece is beautiful." And they're like, "No, we're in France." "Oh, France is beautiful." "Yes, it is." That's how busy I was. I didn't even know what country I was in. So that's not a way to live because I'm not enjoying these beautiful countries. I'm not enjoying my life. So that was my drive. My drive was to get out of that job because I wanted to live. And that's what happened. I focused and focused and focused. I did the work. Every single minute I had to myself, which wasn't very much, even if it was going to the bathroom, I'd take my phone and I'd place an ad or I'd answer some messages and I'd get back to work. But I made it happen, right? So I made it happen. I got out of that job and now I have my business that is doing pretty well, if I may say so myself.
You're so
Um,
modest. So modest.
is that sarcasm I hear, or
No,
is
I mean you're being too modest.
yeah, no, but yeah, you're right. I am being modest. I should be proud about what I've achieved. So my business is doing fantastic, and I am in a place where I knew I would get to, but I didn't know I would get to it like now, right? And that's because, like you said, I made a decision. I decided that I decided 2019 was my year. I said that at the end of 2018, I claimed it. I said 2019 is my year. It is the year where everything is going to change for me. And it happened and it changed. And I put it out there. I set the intention. I've made a decision and I followed through. And that's all you guys really need to do. You just need to make a decision and follow through and stop with the bullshit, guys. Stop with the bullshit. Like, this is the Mediterranean coming out of me. Bullshit gets you nowhere. You can feel so sorry for yourself. Oh, my business isn't working. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, I need some help. Just shut up. Just do it. Stop feeling sorry for yourselves and just do it. If you're not going to do it for you, what makes you think somebody else is going to do it for you? Why should somebody else put in the work if you're not putting in the work? Well, why should somebody else listen to your complaining when you're the one that needs to change? Change first, change your mindset, then speak to somebody about it. But if you're going to complain and bitch and moan and feel sorry for yourself, just stop. Honestly, just stop doing it because you're not going to get anywhere by doing that. You need to believe in yourself, believe that it's going to happen. And when I say believe, I don't mean, oh, it's going to happen, but it's not working. No, that is not believing in yourself. That is a complete contradiction, like I was saying before. You're gonna believe in yourself. Believe 100% in yourself. No doubts. There is no room for doubts, and that's just gonna change your life because it's changed mine. So if it works for me, it's gonna work for you.
I love it. I love it. I was gonna ask you what to tell them like a tip that you think would be the biggest thing to help them like make that goal and create that lifestyle. But I'm pretty sure you just gave them like three. So I mean, I'm not gonna ask that.
Yeah. If anyone wants some more ass whoopings,
I know where I always come from my ass whooping.
yep.
Um,
I'm like the least sensitive person. If somebody's complaining about something, my response is stop fucking bitching and moaning and just do it. You've just wasted like an hour complaining when you could have spent that hour fixing your problem, right?
you wasted the time. You wasted all that energy. Like
Yeah.
you wasted all this energy putting it into the wrong place. Where you could be putting it into your success, right? I mean, you got to make that decision, as Louisa says, of what matters more. Does the complaining, does the excuses, does that matter more, or does the actual like changing of your life, hitting new heights, being able to take control of your life matter more? Which is it? Which matters more to you? And until you make that decision, and that was one thing that I made before I got into online business. I made the decision for so many years that excuses and bitching, complaining, sitting in my comfort zone was so much more important than bettering my life. Until one of my friends, and I'm so blessed to have friends that are honest with me, till he slapped me and he said that like you're not allowed to complain to me anymore. I'm sick and tired of listening to it, and I'm so grateful that I actually have a friend like that because most people they don't. They'll have all these people that don't that are afraid to tell you their honest opinion, right? And they'll just go home and be like, "Oh, this guy's a clown." But anyways, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Those are the results, guys. If you guys want to hit them, it's just about making the decision, pushing away all those excuses, all that type of stuff. If you guys are seeing that value, as we talked about, make sure that you're sharing this with other people. If you want to hit new heights, reach out, talk to Louisa and me. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love to be able to help you guys out. And, share some gratitude, hit that like button, give us some a little bit of love, please. And yeah, guys, anyways, we'll see you later this week because this week is going to be a Spill the Beans episode week this week. So we'll see you guys in a few days for another topic. If there's something you guys would like us to talk about, please hit us up in the comment section. And thank you for everybody for joining us live today. We will talk to you guys all soon.